So we're back at Boogie in Maryland, go see Rob Renner. Really looking forward to this. We had a series of prep videos which are coming through. It's really interesting. Basically how to take kind of traditional jiu-jitsu and make it street with it. So really looking forward to it. It's just me this time. No Zach, nobody else, so I'm doing this one solo. But really looking forward to it. Go visit the boys back down there. So, day one, training with Rob Renner down here in Maryland, Clarksville. Yeah, excited. This should actually be pretty good. He shares the same philosophy that we do at Discovery. You know, if it doesn't work, then why the hell are we doing it? So I like that. I'm very interested. He definitely has a different approach to the techniques, has kind of a system that he's using. There's about 11 hours of preparatory video for this, which I've watched all but one. I'll confess that. But I think it'd be hopefully enough to get me through today. Haven't had a chance to practice it in real life though. Just kind of been watching it. So that'll be interesting. I actually get first time to actually like use his stuff, you know, on a live person. So that'll be good. But we're here at, Charles's home gym, home dojo, which is, that's my car going off. So it's this really nice place out around here. Dojo in the back. Yeah, I'm actually excited. It should be really cool.
The spine, right? So this is a good control position. Then we start to move away from the spine, talking about scapula. So you can see like how the muscle comes up right here. So if you can hook on, scapula is next. Then would be like up at the shoulder here. As you're moving down, you see you can kind of hook onto the elbow here. This is next. Then you slightly hook up. These places where you just naturally catch on. We call them gotcha points. In Japanese, gachiten. Gachiten. So, you know, a finger could be the same thing, right? But this is the least optimal, you know, because you're the farthest away from the spine. So the closer you get to the spine, the better this thing becomes. Okay? Now that's if you can reach up there. But you know, let's say that for, you know, whatever you're on the ground. Then you have the same thing. So you're gonna have hips, the fold right here. You're gonna have where see it hooks on these catches right there underneath.
Right.
No. and ankles. Okay, so ankles, as you can see, are gonna be just the least controlling. I mean, there is control, but it's just the least controlling. So you gotta think about that. You wanna get what you can get. So again, if I were laying on the ground, you know, I would do this. This is a control place, and then you automatically have like with the knees, so you can start to do these kind of things, right? And control here, and then as he falls, you can get further and further up towards the spine. So that's the hierarchy. So what we're doing today, I didn't have it before, right? I'm gonna do the knee right now. So I'm gonna come down here and drop that knee down. See, I start to sit. Then I want to prevent him. See how I'm floating right here?
Yeah.
This kind of sucks, right?
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna float him here for a moment. See how my knee's about to come up through his spine? Then I'm gonna go here. I gotta control this. So see how his hip wants to go back to safety?
Yep.
I'm keeping my knee in there so he can't. So I get this. So I put another knee right here on the spine. Then I'm about to go. See how this comes in here? I don't want to hold this with my hand. I want to get free. And I want to come down and, I'm sorry about this. Sorry, nah, I can't do it, it's too tight. So I would pull his head back. I'm really trying to take the pressure off of this. If I need to here, this knee goes up behind, sorry about this. See how this flattens him out this way?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really trying to not do anything here because I really put this down in here. Like if I didn't care, I just completely tear tendons and ligaments in here. To hold him in here. Does this make sense?
Sure.
You would do that by leaning back or dropping down, or
So I'm gonna let this go. I'll be let this one go.
Can't sit up.
Right, just extend that. This is going to extend, and my weight's still. Sorry about this. I'm knee here, like that's edge of the spine, so it's keeping his hip down, right? And if I need, sorry about this. I'm also putting pressure right here, so it's difficult to breathe.
Yeah.
Because this is coming down here. Okay. Now he can breathe, even though. Sorry about this. Even though I'm doing this, he can breathe.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. This is not a joke. I could stay here for a half hour. He can breathe. So don't believe that that's going to choke him. That's not. He's going to get out of that. But you got his arm. You've dislocated it. You got this, and I would drop my knee from here to the jaw, so that my shin is coming across the neck. That's a choke. It's only half a choke. The other side's still working. And if he's a freak or on some kind of drugs,
You don't feel it?
he may just be like, yeah, arm's gone, don't care, gotta keep going. You know? So you gotta think about that in terms of containment. So did you guys understand the idea? Basically you wanna like keep putting your knee in that spine. until you get them flattened out. And then you want to put the knees here, otherwise known as shoulder control, right? In the scapula, right behind here, it just flattens that out, okay? So try that, be careful, be aware of around you. Don't like, I never did this thing before. So I was like, but I just watching, I'm like, the answer's obviously right there, you know what I'm saying? And once you start to see it, you will too, you'll be like, duh, close the door. Like you guys say, close the door. Yeah. Right? Even if you're still opening the door, you know, you're like, I should close the door right there. Yeah, dumbass, right? And then, you know, like, Mike's going and sweeping the arm from the outside. It's like, no, just you right now. Oh yeah, it's just this. Oh, okay. Right? You'll start to see it easy too. And the more you see it easy, the more you just start doing it, you're like, oh, well, it's way easier. So like when you were trying to figure out, so I gave him this much. Okay, Tony, get Dave. Where's Dave? Yeah, right here. So get Dave in that, you know, the God's thinking out of your position. And Dave's got his arm on his shoulder, right? Yeah. So he's right here. And I said, all right, now you got to do Mushidori on that arm that's on the shoulder. He's like, no, I can't, it's in the way. Get it? Right? I'm like, okay.
That took a while.
If I were right there and doing that, what would I do? He's like, well, you do it. I'm like, yeah, but how? How would I do it? Here's the answer. It's the easiest thing that I could possibly do. What's the least energetic thing that I could possibly do? What's the least cool-looking martial art thing that I could do?
Relax everything.
Fix the arm. Oh, yeah. So that's probably just it. Otherwise known as Mushidori, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's not rocket science. We, all of us, this thing called Bujinkan and martial arts in general, have made it way, way, way overcomplicated. Well, it's this in this instance, and it's this in this instance, and here, and that, and this, and the blah, 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 blah. It's not, man. It's like riding a bike. It's like riding a bike. Just, you gotta get on the ride. And then you pop a wheelie. And you go, whoa, I popped a wheelie. Maybe you fell off after you popped a wheelie. It's okay, you get back up and pop another wheelie. And then one day you pop a wheelie and you hold it while you pedal for a few feet. And you're like, awesome. No one's like, okay, so what you do? Pop it. You need a weight balance that's perfectly like 50%. So if you're 175 pounds, you count. No one does that. You're just like, oh, there it is. That's on the balance. You see what I'm saying? You guys can already do this stuff, but we gotta uncomplicated. Okay?
Here's the way to think about it. In a big pool, you gotta get the 8 ball and there's a ball sort of in your way. We try to jump the ball and hit the 8 ball. I was like, oh, first I'll hit this ball, and then I'll hit the 8 ball in. It's like, and we're like, yeah, jump this thing and make it a little complicated.
Yeah, let's just go around the circle, come back in here. Knock that ball in first. Yeah, exactly.
So, on this last drill, I don't know if you want to get that specific. So in the last drill, we had one hand. This was kind of our totoku, but maybe we're already getting stabbed with that first one. I don't know. I didn't really see much totoku against the first stab.
Can you
on this
stab me a
one.
minute?
You're just moving.
Yes.
Creating that
Sure,
shape.
you can stab me, right?
So you're just creating that shape.
Yeah. So stab me again.
Mm-hmm.
So what if I said you gotta do the whole thing in your left hand?
Yeah.
Right? Now you start to see. Okay. And again, that's not a real knife attack.
So
It's
the
not a real knife attack.
So the totoku doesn't mean your arm has to run into his arm.
Sometimes your totoku is air. Sometimes your totoku is you're controlling his belief of where you are in time and space. Ooh. But it's really pretty simple, right? It's just like I threw the ball at you and you swung and missed. That's not voodoo.
You're just creating a gap.
That's it. I'm making you think you got it. I'm making you think you're where you need to be. But nah, that's the kyojitsu. So this very first piece of this, when you have to use one hand, you really got to use kyojitsu. And you notice what I did is I moved out of the way and I went boom and tapped you because if I didn't, you're going to come in and get me on the next one. Because I didn't have anything to block it. So I had to move you. So I went dook, and as you went back with that, then I came in and caught your elbow, and then moved you over here because if I just here, you're just going to stab me again. So I'm just constantly doing that with finger pressure, right? Because it's all the way out here. So boom, then I came in, and you do the next thing, and I go here, and I take a little distance again, and then catch it again, right? That's this one.
I felt this gap, but it wasn't like you were pushing me. Like it was just there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I can just come back on that line again.
Right. But this is, since I'm doing it so much, I'm hypersensitive, right? So I can feel like, oh, okay, but there's balance. When you guys might go, okay, at the beginning. But after a while, you're like, oh, there's my balance, okay? So that's all. I just have a little bit better balance feeling at that point. But you guys all have the balance feeling. It's just not quite as low. So this is how I thought was okay. Once I do what Soke did, then I'm like, oh, he's just doing the same thing I'm doing, but more solid, smoother, smaller. But it's the same thing. It's just more refined. Okay? So that's all we want to get, is more refined.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any thoughts? Any questions or ideas? Anything?
It was great, thank you.
Everyone,
Everyone did really kick-ass stuff. Dave, thanks, man. Everyone brings some stuff to the party that's really nice. And leveling them up. Leveling us up. The people that are watching will tell you, this is hard. This is hard stuff. Again, it's not hard, but it's the feeling of like, whoa, you're doing this and you got to keep it moving and it's not stopping. It's like, it's not like, okay, now do it with one arm. Well, sure. I'll just stand here and walk around, do it. A lot of people do that. But this constant motion, this liveliness, this dynamism, that's hard.
Gotta get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. But in a year, it won't be so hard. And then we'll be like, okay, now we'll make it hard. And
Well,
then,
just when you think we're good.
of course. That's how it's got to work.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
I think I'm getting it. No.
The ladder of excellence goes to the infinite.
Exactly.
you know, something cool that, you know how we think about when you take toe-to-toe forward, you're not going up to them, you're actually taking some of their space. And what I saw today, which was so cool, I didn't realize is you actually do that as you're going backwards too. Because I was wondering, how am I supposed to run all the way around here? And then I'm going to run all the way around here. And then I'm going to run all the way. It's like, no, you're pulling him into, you're taking the space behind him. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty wild.
So Soke says control the kukan, which we're going to call this the danger zone. And that means all the way around him. So we have this Jupo Sesho,
Right.
which is 360 degrees in a ball around. Okay, so even though I'm in front, I'm controlling the space behind you as well,
Pretty wild.
and on the sides, right?
Pretty well.
But you don't see that because you see I'm right in front of you. So tomorrow we'll do some stuff that will be weird freaky stuff again. But it's just basic biomechanics. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Let's bow out, shall we?
So my thoughts after day one training with Mr. Renner. For those people who don't know him, he's been around. You know, he's a name in the art. He's an American that's lived in Japan for about 30 years, and just over here, kind of doing the U.S. tour. You know, meeting with some of his people over here, and I want to meet with him just because he has a different take. He's incredibly talented. There's no doubt about that. But what I think fascinates me about him is that it's very practical. You know, he definitely he's not the kind of guy who's gonna, let's go over kata and let's look at this. He's like, no, let's find the stuff that works, which really kind of aligns to our philosophy, stuff that actually you can use. Because if I can't use it, then why are you doing it? And so I had a lot of conversation with him yesterday. I guess the best way to describe it for me was, and he agreed, was it's kind of like stand-up ground work. As weird as that sounds, that's kind of how it felt to me. And, when I approached him about him and asked him, if my perception was right, yeah, he totally agreed with me. So I had a lot of great side conversations on just theories and philosophies and stuff like that, which were all aligned, which were wonderful. He used me a lot as uke yesterday, which was great because I got to kind of feel, what looks like very intense pressure because of his close contact way of looking at things, but it really wasn't. So I think that was something to really kind of keep in mind when working with his stuff, is that, he's not going in there hard, even though it's aggressive and you're really kind of closing the distance and you're getting close for controlling. It's not pressure. It's not hard. There's control. There's good alignment. So there's a lot of fundamentals still in there, but it's not combative. It's not, it's not just, two bulls smashing into each other and hopefully one bull gets the thing. There's a lot of lightness. There's a lot of trickery in there. And so looking forward to day 2. We'll see what it brings. I guess another thing I'd add too is, even though the training wasn't, I would say physically, hard as like, getting thrown down to the ground and getting up 1.5 million times, I'm sore, I'm ground fighting sore, kind of in places that I didn't know how to be because of the kind of, some of the unconventional approaches, he has, the structures, aren't the same as we usually see, in normal training. But, and I was like, kind of figured myself to be a pretty athletic guy. And, man, I'm sore. Like, I haven't twisted and turned that much doing stand-up for a very long time, which shows me that, okay, I had some, I guess, biases maybe in movement that I didn't realize I had, kind of locked in, to being certain ways, which good and bad, I guess. I'm just kind of exploring that myself, like, okay, I guess my body was kind of used to being in a certain position, and maybe I got to readdress that, because maybe that's not the position I need to be in. One of the things Mr. Renner talked about was you got to stay in shape when you do this stuff. And he really looked at it from the point of being a good uke, because, if you're not in shape, you can't be a good uke to, kind of put the pressure on and help stuff up, then, you're not really giving your training partner a really great training time. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, that take on, actually keeping yourself physically, not just for you, and not just, to be able to defend yourself, but actually as the UK. So, just remember that one. So I was walking downstairs. I should probably add this. All right, day 2.
He's going like, boom, oh, you can go over there, boom. He's not doing that, because there's no time to see. It's just, he's just coming in with the idea of just like, boom, 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 right? He's just doing that. There's 3 shots in 1 move. So Chris and many people were going, out of the way, right back. Well, then you just put it right back in for number 2, right? So what Eric said is, you're out of the way for 1 and 2. And while you're doing that, you got to find your totoku, right? So, thank you, Eric. Let's all put this on.
Oh, motherfucker.
Right?
That's nasty.
I'll do it softly.
You gotta fucking send me these after this.
So, this goes here.
Yeah.
This comes here. And I'm gonna go. So that's strapped, and this just goes through. I'm being soft.
That's a good one. Just locks it in. Nasty.
I'll go. Can you see it from there, okay? I'm gonna go same thing here. Margin. It's gonna be all the way around. Just opposite here. See that? This is gonna be guarded, and then I just rotate back into it.
Okay.
And again, none of this requires much power. You do it like this. You can see it goes right here. As I'm pushing into him, his hand actually comes up. So I'm feeding it into his mouth. And then I push it across. Elbow drops here. Okay? So no point that I out muscle him. And I'll take it right. Musha Dori. Looks like this. It goes boom. This is shooting up. So that his wrist is caught in my armpit, his elbow's trapped here, and I have his armpit. So that keeps that away, but I could be here like this. Okay? Don't do this. Kanseki Nage is a similar thing, and that I'm coming here and changing hands. So I got control over spine, so my hands guarded here, and this goes. Rather than lifting the arm up, because now he can hold his arm out and come back to you. I do this, so when he fights my arm, so I'm here. Because Kanseki Nage is not lift his arm up. It's throwing a heavy stone. So if I had like a heavy stone, I'd be like, right? So Onitudaki, same idea, is I'm going to come from this side. As this comes across top, I'm going to shoot through the armpit on the other side, while this leg comes over here and goes. Then I'm going to pull this. So he's fork screwed up, and I'm going to put his hand behind him, up near his face. So see his fork screwed? If he steps out of it, He throws himself in the
The first thing
Don't Kihon Happo?
Hon Gyaku.
Hon Gyaku.
That
Hon Gyaku is really the same thing. It's have to be or attacker. So you're just going to stay there. So for the basic, I'll do it like this so you can see it. I'm going to do Omote Gyaku on this arm.
Yeah.
Okay? So as I come in, I'm guarding this. I'm coming in behind the elbow here. So I'm lifting this up and turning so that he comes in.
Then finally we get it.
Then I'm going to take my outside foot and step across. So I go, and then there's Omote. Okay? So I'll do it on this side just real quick. Just guard, go into the armpit, see, I'm going to be able to get that from there. So push into him and there's Omote. And I'm not breaking his hand or anything like that. That's pretty mean. So from the same position,